Chairman, how the hell have you done this?
Through hard work, determination, trying to create a better vision for the football club, which is something that we wanted to set out to do from day one. And the training facilities was a key thing that me and David discussed right from day one, that we needed to get right for the football club, because at the moment the previous facilities wasn't up to where the club needed to go. You couldn't really develop players from that, so this was something we needed to do, and a bit of hard work and thank you to Manchester City for also making this happen as well.
How did it start? How do you approach somebody like Man City and say, can we have your training ground, please?
Well, we heard on the grapevine that obviously New City had gone to a fabulous new campus in the east side of Manchester as well. It was a big thing for them to go and open their new complex, which is out of this world. You know, I had the luxury of going down there and visiting the complex, and it was outstanding. And we knew that this was a bit surplus to requirements for them at the time being, and they were looking to maybe do something with it. So we contacted the right people and sat down and had a conversation with them, and it snowballed from there, really.
Was it quick? Quick process?
It was probably about a 4-week process. A 4-week process that from start to finish, from registering our initial interest to actually making the deal happen. Again, I'd have to thank Manchester City as well for me probably pestering them to try and make sure this deal did go through.
Stalking them.
Yeah, I think stalking them was the right word. So we made the deal happen, and we did a lot of meetings with them just to try and push things along, and we visited the complex to see what there was and how we could move it along, and thankfully we managed to get the deal done.
Now you're in, what's the plan?
The plan is that we want to develop players. That's something that is a key thing to me at this football club. The academy is something where we want to get them into the first team and develop sellable assets within the academy as well. And that's something that the football club hasn't done for quite a while. And that's something that we thought we could achieve by coming to the right facilities. Like with any sort of job, if you've got the tools to be successful, you will be successful. And we've got to put the right things together for them, in terms of the facilities, and giving them the time with the coaching staff. But this does take the football club, I believe, to another level.
Gaffer, when you came in 14 months ago, one of the first things you said was, we need a proper training ground. Did you expect this?
Absolutely not. We talked for hours, Chair, didn't we, on what the vision would look like, and we detailed it out. I think part of me coming in here was, I was a coach, I developed players, and it's something that the chair was keen to do from day one. I love doing it. You've got to have an environment, you've got to set a culture, and we've done that over 14 months, and it's been difficult because we've been on the road and travelling time, and I think we've looked at, it's 100 odd hours the time we've been travelling from facility to facility. Now, that's 100 hours coaching time we can get back, spending time with players, spending time with young players, and using our best resource, to coach players. This gives us a vehicle to do that, and it's I believe it's one of the, probably in the top 10 in the country in terms of training facilities. And when you've been where we've been, and the miles you've done, you understand and you appreciate, the gratitude we've got for this place is quite incredible.
In terms of player recruitment, this is an entirely different level again.
We've met in a number of places, Chair, haven't we? Players, and we've had to meet him on different sites, different hotels, but I can't wait to do the first one here and meet him here and show him around and do a presentation probably in this room, the analysis department, and just really take him on a tour of this site, how it works, because it's bricks and mortar, and I think with myself, the chair and the staff we've got here and the infrastructure we've put in place, we'll bring it to life. When we show people around, we won't just be showing them the bricks and mortar and the pitches, we'll be showing them how we do it and the environment that we're going to set in this wonderful building.
How far can this go?
As far as, there's no ceiling, when the chair come in, that's what we talked about, we're not a League 2 club, we're in League 2, we don't have to run it like a League 2 club, and the chair's not. But I think in terms of recruitment, we've got championship players, or they've been in the championship. I'm thinking of Paul P and Al Madab. It gives them an interesting decision to make, what they want to do with the rest of the next 2 or 3 years. So we'll really drive that plan home and see where that's at. But it gives a different impact to signing players.
Have you had time to actually get boots on the ground yet this week? Because every time I've seen you, you're either moving furniture or loading vans up. Have you got any training done this week at all?
We've been in a couple of times previous to us getting it to sort of feel it out. In fact, the 2 wins have probably come off the back of us training here to give them a stimulus chair, hasn't it? You know, so we introduced the players to it, what might happen, and we set some ground rules out. And you know, we've had 6 points off the back of that, and they stimulate. They can't believe it. They keep saying to the chair, "Have you done this? Have you pulled this off?" And it's the first day today that it will actually breathe and work as a training complex for us in terms of going forward. So it's the first day as a training complex that we'll be able to utilise it.
That was the next question. Reaction from the players has been through the roof. And you seen that every day now?
Do you know what? They've deserved a good training pitch and complex, because honestly we've travelled everywhere. They've not had a mourn up. They've been brilliant in their pursuit. But I think because of the troubles, and some of them League 2, League 1 players, for them to get in a place like this, we're not used to it. You know, it's something that you respect every day, something you occur for every day. The standards will be raised, the expectations will be raised. But one thing we will do is keep enjoying it, being enthused by it and loving it every single day. And if you can't be enthused by coming into here, then the players won't come into work.
What's an under 9 going to think when he comes to a place like this?
I want to be a part of it, exactly like we've done, sure, innit?
Yeah.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in the academy. I know what them players want. I know what the parents want, and they want to be part of something special. And we'll be able to create that here. You know, on a Sunday morning, we're already in plans to create a fantastic experience for players and parents, and you know, and not even the kids that are in our academy. You know, this is give opportunity now for kids in the Manchester area, grassroots teams, to have a dream of being involved in a place like this. And there's so much untapped potential out there, and we'll get out and we'll find it, we'll bring them in here and we'll develop them, because that's part of the business plan we spoke about from day one.
Well, you know that people talk big in football, words are pretty cheap. What's it like to sit next to someone who actually backs that words up with action?
I knew from the outset, 20 minutes into the interview chair dinner, I knew we were similar people, we're driven the same, we've got the same work ethic, same values, and we just get each other. You know, we get each other, and I said from day one, you know, who motivates the motivator, and this man sat here, you know, sat me right, and there has been a few hard times while we've been here, not many, but once the church said he was going for it, we was going to get it. You know, there were some other competitors in there, but we knew we were going to get it. And you know, we were talking about possibly the top business people in the country in terms of Man City, and how they do the business. They're a global brand, and the church's gone in there, negotiated with them, and we can only thank Man City for this opportunity, because you know, they've seen us as a great suitor for this building, and we'll give it the respect it deserves.
Some players get starstruck about players. What was it like seeing your players starstruck by facilities?
It wasn't starstruck. It was complete respect, complete hope, complete aspiration and inspiration. So it's a different light. You know, when you're taking arguably lads who's played in League 2 and League 1, and then you take them into a facility like this, all they were talking about is who, you know, they got him Aguero's spot, and one went Yara. So they've been getting in early to fight for the spots, but I'd already got them in the church. And got Aguero's. So listen, it's a special place for us, and the players appreciate it. They're grateful for it. They can't, you know, they've told the chair what they think about what he's done for them, and we are the luckiest people alive.
Who gets the best office?
Well, the chair nailed the best office from day one, I think. Yeah, it's not going to be an office space. It's not going to be about. It's what you do inside the building. It's what we do outside on the grass, you know, and in the gym areas. It's how we bring this place to life.
Can you believe you've done this?
Yes and no. I have a great belief in myself, James, in terms of what I can achieve and where I want to go. And I think when you're trying to motivate yourself on a daily basis, you know, David touched on sometimes to motivate the motivator. It's sometimes difficult. You know, you've got to keep on pursuing things and trying to know what you think you're doing is the right thing to do. And so I do believe in my ability of what I can go do. But you know, to be sat here this morning, you know, I can't take the smile off my face, to be honest with you, because it's something that, for me, I believe is a great statement of intent of where this football club's going to go and what we want to try and achieve here. And you know, there's a lot of hard work that does go in behind the scenes, and I can't stop smiling, really.
Have you stolen a march in other clubs? Because Premier League clubs do train here. Were there other talks going on with other parties maybe to get in front of you, and you've done that?
Yeah, there was other clubs that was interested in taking the facilities over, and that was something that, you know, when I spoke to the powers that be at Manchester City, you know, I told them about what my vision was for the football club and how I wanted to move it forward and what I wanted to try and do, and you know, they believed in the project that I was doing, and I think they were hopefully impressed with what we said, and that's something that they felt, you know, we were the right people to get into this building, as David mentioned there, because it was a lot of, you know, this is an incredible facility. There's 22 acres here that, you know, we're now situated in, and will be rebranded as Bury Football Club's home for the next 5 years. So that's something that, you know, it gives me a great sense of pride and achievement of what we've done so far, but this is only the start of it for me. You know, now the hard work really does kick in. The
final question for both of you, you talked about the respect there rather than being starstruck. Do you get rid of the branding? Do you put the players' names on the car park spots? Do you keep some of it as motivational?
I think that's a chat that, you know, myself, the chair, and Ian Kendall will have. There's some unbelievable images in this building, and we're talking now about, you know, the Premiership champions. They won it from this site. So I think it is aspirational. You know, we're sat in here now, and I can see some of the visions of people in here, and, you know, a lot better people than me have put these images together. So I think we've always got to remind players that, you know, that hard work, that togetherness, that team, and the way they won the title from this building is something that, you know, will go down in history. So we've got to really be respectful to that, because I'm inspired by seeing some of the Man City, the images around the place. They're just, you know, you just look at them and they make you feel that passion and that professionalism that is running through Man City right now.
Same question. I mean,
yeah,
it's inspirational, isn't it?
It's inspirational, James. I mean, that, you know, it was great because I think people are rushing to get into work in the morning here. You know, I think as soon as they pull down the driveway, the traffic or whatever they've had around the area to get into the place is it's forgotten about. You know, it's an incredible place to come into. You know, you have to get rid of people on night time to go. I've had some of my staff already talk about putting beds in here because they don't want to leave the complex. So that's a great environment to be in, and like you say, some of the imagery that they've got up around the place is very, very inspirational. You know, it makes you want to come into work, it makes you want to do better, and that's something that we've wanted to create within our own football club. And I believe we've done that in the short steps that we've taken when we was based at the JD, but it was very difficult when you're trying to motivate players when, you know, you go into 3 or 4 different locations in a week. You know, you've also motivated the staff as well to do that, because we spent a lot of hours travelling from complex to complex trying to use facilities, whereas now, you know, they know that this is their base, they know that this is their hub, and they want to utilise the facilities here. And so it's extremely inspirational, because when they're pulling down the drive and they park the car and they come in the building, then you know, it's they don't want to go home.
Not only that, you've got a guy on the gate who's a Bury fan.
Yeah, yeah.
And a Stewart as well.
Yeah, he is. So it was strange how things pan around, really, because you know, he's been here for 16 years, and he's an incredible gentleman as well. Knows the building inside out, and he's a big Bury fan. So I think
he wants a free ticket.
Yeah. But it's great. You know, that's the environment that we wanted to try and create, James, and you know, something that we want to try and create as a football club is the right image, the professional image, and hopefully that's something that we'll strive towards.
From a business point of view, does it add an extra revenue stream for you? You've got an awful lot of facilities here that can be loaned out, rented out.
It's a great question, and that's something that was part of the remit in terms of what we was trying to look at doing, because, you know, we've got a substantial cost with our youth academy and our youth team and our first team of hiring facilities through the week. You know, we do not get to use the AJ Bell training facilities that we've been doing for free. You know, we have to pay for them facilities during the week. We have to pay for the facilities for our youth academy to go train on evenings and weekends, and also to play games on a Saturday and Sunday. There's a cost to that. So by having the pitches here, that eradicates that cost, because they're actually going to be based here on playing the games on a Saturday and a Sunday. But you're right, the facilities that are here, there's a number of different areas that we're looking at the moment to see if we can bring extra revenue streams in, and that's something that you know, we spoke about with Manchester City to allow us to do that, so that we can look at different areas to try and bring extra revenue streams in. So there's a business angle to it at the same time, and that's something that myself and Ian Kendall will be sitting down with over the next couple of weeks, planning and looking at how best to utilise the facilities to bring income back into the business.
I know that you've been working together to make sure that you provide the best possible experience for the players here. In so doing, you've had to hire yourself training facilities up and down the country to get training in the day before, and now you're almost in a position where you can offer that to other people.
Certainly, I think that's another thing that we've looked at. You know, I know there's been certain teams, Premiership teams, European teams that have been using these facilities, that they've been subleasing pitches out to them because of the quality that their facilities are. So again, that's something that we discussed about, looking at subleasing some of the pitches. You know, when certainly teams are coming to play up in the northwest, Championship and Premiership teams or European teams are maybe coming over, we can look to use some of the facilities here. So that's another angle that we certainly are looking at the moment as well.
David, it's interesting you said there you thought that the 2 wins recently have been inspired by sort of work on it. Obviously, you talked about bringing in young players and taking kids out here, but do you think it can have an immediate effect on the first team as well?
It will. It already has done. You know, the chairman negotiated a couple of training days before we took control of it, and the lads, we couldn't get them home. I was struggling to get them home genuinely. You know, they wanted to explore every door, every room. They wanted to be in here, and they was inspired by it. But that won't stop. That's not just 2 days. You know, I'm a massive believer in not letting complacency set in. These facilities, because they're so special, they'll remain that, and we'll put the love, the care into facilities, and the players have got to share that. We've already had a meeting, myself, the chair, and Kendall, with the players to let them know exactly the ground rules here, and how you've got to appreciate and respect this fantastic opportunity we've got, and we've got an honest group of players, and they've totally bought into it, and we've already had an impact certainly on first team affairs.
And obviously players that sort of young players starting in their careers, it's going to make a huge impact to say come to Bury rather than go to Rochdale or Burnley.
Well, the old football clubs change, you know, from us not being able to have so many. We've had so many players that there's not been no pathway into the first team. We've got that. Ian Kendall has done a fantastic job in bringing the youth setup together. Now, with that, as a manager, and what the chair wanted is to see players come through. We've given that pathway, so every child now involved in that academy, and every child that wants to get in the academy has now got a clear path to get in the first team. And this is part of it. This side, I've got great leaders in Ryan Lowe and Daniel Nardiello and Jim McNulty. They'll all spend a lot of time with the youth players. Their interaction will be fantastic. We've opened the restaurant up so that there's a social area where they'll interact, and that's something that will be living and breathing every single day. The fact that great leaders and great players and the coaching staff will be interacting socially every single day with these young players, because they're the cornerstone of what we're doing. You know, they're the bedrock of us and our business plan going forward, and how we make this business sustainable.
Chairman, is there any plans for the lower gig site? Is that yours as the council's to do with in the future?
No, we leased that off the council,
right.
So that's something that we'll be looking to speak with the council on and see where we go with that and what we're looking to do, and that might be something that we're working on with our grassroots teams as well, because there's a lack of pitches in the area, and I think it'd be right to do something with local grassroots clubs as well to hopefully use some of them facilities.
With regards to going forward, you've got 5 years here. I know that you were looking at other options in Bury for the last 2 years since you arrived. What happens to those options now? Are they shelved, or are you looking at doing something after the 5 years?
I think the initial 5 years that we agreed with Manchester City was just put in place where it could hopefully grow longer than that. Certainly we're not just looking at a short-term 5-year period with the facilities here. So this is something that if it goes right for both parties, I'm sure we're looking to extend the lease. And once you've got facilities like this, it's very difficult then to go to somewhere else. So, and there's obviously a huge amount of cost to develop your own facility as well, which is what we looked at. The cost to do that development of our own facility, to get something even closely remote to what we've got here, will be quite astronomical. So that's something that hopefully for both parties it works over the 5-year period, and both parties are happy to extend the lease on that.
Okay. So you don't envisage yourself buying this place at one point? That would be a bit of a stretch for a League Two club as you are now.
Yeah, as we are now, yeah, it'll be it's a difficult step to do that, but you don't know where things can go. I'm sure 6 months ago David will tell you he didn't expect to be coaching at this facility, so you don't know where things can go, and that's something that we've got to work and look at and do the maths on it to see whether it's right for us to take it forward. But for now, we're extremely delighted with the agreement that we've got in place, and that's something that allows this football club to come to a Premier League facility. And when with all the things we just talked about this morning, attracting players to come here for the first team, for the youth facilities, for everything else that you're looking to do, it's a major step forward for the football club, because this is where you're going to be based Monday to Friday, and it actually creates a special environment for a match day experience at home as well. Because going down to the club on a Saturday, they're not going to be there, so we're trying to create that special match day experience for the players to make sure that that's a special environment when they go down to the stadium.
With regards to how you actually got this place, I think probably the only thing that people are wondering is how, because obviously you are a League Two club. How did you beat the other suitors that there were for the club? What was it that pushed you over the edge?
I think for me, it's a difficult one for me to probably answer this, because I was doing the negotiations, but I think it's the belief in terms of where we want to take the football club.
In the work you've already done, Chair, the professionalism you can see around at the JD Stadium now, and the way that we try and handle what we do, and how we've completely changed the concept of what Bury's about. I think that was a massive point in the chair, even getting in the chair with these guys. But then when you sat with him, I knew within 20 minutes I wanted to work for the guy. Do you know what I mean? So he's very persuasive.
And I think the situation is that we talked about the long-term plan of where we wanted to take the football club and how we wanted to do it, and how much these facilities would help enable us to go do that. So I'm sure Manchester City had a lot of other options on the table, and probably a lot more better financial options probably than ourselves. But I think they've seen what we were trying to do here, and it's great that they've I can't thank them enough for allowing us to get into these facilities. So there's a big credit to them as well.
I think everyone can probably see the potential benefits of the club of what coming to a place like this could be. I mean, it's astronomical, really, isn't it? But with regards to a risk, was there any kind of risk attached to doing this deal for the club?
There's a saying that I had in terms of it. The risk for me was not doing this deal. That was the risk, because to get this facility for me takes the club onto a totally different level. And by not getting this facility, there was going to be astronomical costs in developing our own facilities to do that, and to try and find the right piece of land. And it would have probably taken 2 to 3 years to develop. This is a plug and play situation. So we're ready to go, and the real fear for me, and certainly with other clubs, they might have had a fear of taking this on because they think it's a big complex to run, a big complex to do. My fear was not taking this on. My fear, because I knew where this will take the football club, and I knew what this was about, and the brand that we're trying to achieve at the club, and bringing the youth players in here, like you've touched on there. There's going to be players that are coming here from opposition academies and going to think, how can I get to Bury Football Club now, because the facilities that we've created here. So that was my big risk and fear, was not getting the facilities.
So you say unlock the door to your ambition, basically, that you wanted to achieve?
I would say so, Craig. Yeah, I think that's a great point, because we've the ambition that I wanted to do with this football club, I've talked about, it's a 5-year plan that I was wanting to put in place, and it is a plan that we're trying to do. And success doesn't come overnight. And there was a lot of hard work, but this certainly makes things a lot more achievable. And this is the start of the dream, really. This is the start of you living it right here and now, because I've spoke with Ian Kendall the other night, and we were talking about this is a place of work where everybody wants to come to, and from Bury Football Club going out to really be difficult to try and attract players and sell them the dream and sell them the vision and doing it. Now we can bring them here and show them what it is.
Yeah. Last question for me. You talk about the immediate impact. You've already attributed 6 points to actually the feel-good factor of coming in. Do you think it could be an important factor in your promotion push now?
He's got to get 3 points every game.
Well, yeah, a bit of extra pressure, obviously.
Every time we train on a Friday, 3 points. Listen, there was pressure the first time at the church. I know what he wanted. I love pressure. I thrive on it, and it's something that drives you every single day. But that pressure, I'm working as a football manager in one of the best buildings or the best complexes that the country's got to offer, and it's a pleasure doing this job. So we've just got to getting this training ground doesn't guarantee anything. But what it does guarantee is that we can set a culture out, a winning culture out, and an incredible environment for players to want to come to work and not want to leave the building. So course it gives us an advantage, but you know, we're just going to be competitive in as many games as we can be.
Okay, thank you.
You got time to sleep, Gaffer? You still pinching yourself?
We don't we're not sleeping much, I'll be honest, because there's just mad ideas going through your head, and I think there was about 2 weeks of will we get it, won't we get it, will we get it, and there was that going on. There was, and then when we got it, like, he phoned me. He said, "You can tell your son now," because I didn't tell like my sons and tell them, because it was so sensitive to go out there, and you want to see them, their reaction. They couldn't believe it. It's going to make a massive impact on everyone's lives, and you know, we're just going to enjoy it, embrace it, and make sure we look after this place.
I know you will have done, but have you thought about Plymouth on Saturday?
Oh, well, today's Plymouth. Yesterday was moving in. You don't stop. You've always got it somewhere. But then, you know, I've said to the show, once the press conference is over, we're planning, we're prepping, and we've got 2 fantastic days. You know, the prepping for Plymouth started Saturday night after the game. You know, and we've had a day moving in this place, and some of the work the staff done yesterday to get this place up and running and in an order of work was quite incredible. So, you know, we've got today, after this press conference, it's Plymouth in the plan.
More good news earlier the week as well. 2 new contracts this week as well. Totti and Sauce.
Yeah, again, you know, Sauce is probably the most consistent season, and he's a player that he can play in any position you put him in. He's a fantastic athlete now, and probably one of the most elegant and powerful players we've got. So he's something that delights me, that one. And then Totti, we've really let the shackles off, you know, Tuts, and with Kelv sitting and trying to dominate in midfield. Tuts has had a licence to drive forward and have a fluency about his game, and he's been fantastic. So yeah, two good signings, 2 energetic, athletic signings that, you know, make us better.
Finally from me, it's throwing it down. Which pitch are you using?
We're on the AstroTurf today. No, we'll
went back to lower gig.
No, we'll again. It's the respect levels. You know, we'll do our intensity work on the AstroTurf, and then we'll go out on the grass pitch, and that's the way. Again, when you come to a build like this, you've got to know how to use it and respect it. And we won't chew the pitches up or kill them. We'll have a process to how we use this fantastic facility.
Nice to have the choice, isn't it?
It's incredible.
I was going to say, as part of that, do you have to take on board all the running costs of it, or is there some sort of deal where the city, obviously they had the infrastructure in place already about how to maintain the place?
Yeah, you know, they had the infrastructure in about what there was, and they've been very, very helpful in terms of, you know, what the facilities that we need to take on. Obviously, we're not Manchester City. You know, we don't have the volume of staff that they have. We don't have the volume of players that they have. I'd like to. You know, it'd be nice to have Aguero to pick from, but you know, we don't have that. So, you know, it's a sliding scale, really. You know, in terms of what we'll use, and you know, this complex is such a big complex that you know, I found 3 rooms yesterday that I didn't even know were in. But there's some of the rooms that are there. We won't be using them all yet. You know, that's something that we wanted to grow into. And this is why the building is so great for us, because it gives us the capacity to grow into it, and that's not now, it's not next season, it might be in the 2 or 3 years time that we're looking to grow into them buildings, and that's something there, you know, that where the cost will probably increase at that point, but we've got the cost right for where we are today. But you know, we won't be, there was a lot of costs that we had already for training, you know, through the week, as I mentioned before, that there's a lot of costs that we have, and we've actually, there'll be some costs that we reduced because the amount of mileage that we was doing from place to place, and hiring of the facilities out, and you know, even our youth team, you know, we've got in our budget, we spend a lot of money on hiring facilities and hiring pitches. So that's now where that's going to come in to this hub that we're going to have here. So you know, that's something where we've got to work towards to make sure them costs are reduced down to the right for us.
Well, I was thinking more about Mike. Is he putting for a pay rise? He's got a job on.
No. There's certain staff that we'll leave at the football ground, and there's certain staff that we're keeping over that was in place here already to continue. So there's a bit of a transitional period over the next few weeks just to get that right.
Okay, cheers.